young black
A young black
equestrian.
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 black equestrian.
Equestrian.
Black equestrian.
Equestrian.
Black equestrian.
I'm a young black equestrian.
I am a young black equestrian.
So, welcome to Young Black Equestrians TV.
Thank you.
It is our new YouTube channel we decided to start. We've been doing the podcast for a year now. It'll be a year in February. So a lot of people, would say, hey, can y'all do videos? Can y'all do how-tos and DIYs? And, pretty much somebody like us doing the same thing that already exists, but that's fine. That's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
So we decided to just reach out to some people and get some video conferences going and use that to launch our YouTube channel because we already do the podcast. So
Right.
we'll be using the audio for the podcast and then our videos will be on YouTube.
Oh, awesome.
Yes. So Caitlin, this is Erin. Erin, this is Caitlin, obviously.
Hi, Caitlin.
Hello, Erin. Nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you also.
So Erin, if you want to just start off by kind of telling us about yourself, where you're located, your current mount, your current horse.
This is plural.
Yeah.
So I'm Erin. You want to know my age, like my real age and stuff?
You don't have to do all that.
I'm 35. From Philadelphia. I have been riding and competing since I was about 6 years old, I want to say. It's like from Western pleasure to hunters and jumpers and halters. So I've done it all, but my main discipline growing up was hunters and jumpers. So currently I have 5 horses. Don't know how I went from 1 to 5.
It's so easy.
All right.
Yes.
I'm up to 3.
Right. Wow. So, kid, do you want a description of the horses or?
Sure. I mean, just tell, what their function. I'm sure each one has a different function. That's why you need all of them.
I would like to think that.
That's what I like to tell myself.
Right. It help eases, the obsession. Kid he'll be 10 this year. He is the one that I've had the longest. I got him as a unbroke 3-year-old from a performance horse auction, and he doesn't really have a job. I take him to a trail ride here and there. He's still not this finished horse that I want him to be, but I don't have the time because I have 5 other horses, and here he is 10.
Mm-hmm.
Cowboy, Kid is a quarter horse paint. Cowboy is also a quarter horse paint, who is another one that doesn't have a job. He does trail rides. Chuck, Cowboy is 13. Chuck is 18 years old. He's a quarter horse gelding. He was my friend's horse who was killed this past summer, so I kind of inherited him.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry for your loss.
Huh?
I said sorry for your loss.
Oh, thank you. And Dream is an Appaloosa colt. He's 8 months old. So his whole thing, I started showing him halter. So hopefully we can make it to the Appaloosa Futurity and everything like that this year. And Buttercup is our miniature, and she does pony parties and hospital visits, and we just started taking her to hospitals to visit with cancer patients and stuff like that this year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the herd for now.
Well, good. Looks like they, all in due time. Everybody will, get their work done eventually.
Just serve their purpose.
Yeah, eventually. So I am the director of Philadelphia Urban Riding Academy. So eventually, once we're like full force, they will all be doing lessons. Like you guys are all going to work your little butts
Yeah.
off
Mm-hmm.
for working me all these years. So
Yes, I completely understand that. So you said that you've been riding since you were like 6. Was your family into horses?
it was kind of like yes and no. And my uncle, well, I guess you could say that. So yes. Yeah, I'm like my mom no, my dad no, just not immediate family.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of brought it to the immediate side and stuck with it and been doing it ever since. Like my parents probably thought I was crazy and everything else, but it was, or they thought it was a hobby, which didn't.
That you
It
were.
turned into, right. It turned into like a lifestyle.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that's our little tagline: passion, culture, and lifestyle. Like it just
Yep.
it consumes you for sure. So what kind of in your career made you want to put horses as a focus? Because it is a hobby for some people and they, have a job doing something else. But what in your career path kind of said, hey, I'm going to stick with teaching and, establishing the Philadelphia Urban Riding Academy, stuff like that?
So I worked in HR for like 15 years, and I always admired like the women that could like get dialed up and go to work every day. Like I'm like, that's amazing because I don't want to brush my hair. I don't want to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
But the office life, it required me to think too much. I think that's what it is. And horses is like, it doesn't ever feel like work, even teaching. And I started teaching at a young age. As a teenager, I started teaching. And it never felt like work. It's just, hey, I'm at the barn doing stuff. So I think that's the best thing about it. And Philadelphia Urban Riding Academy, I can, do what was done for me, like with the Black community. I mean, because we didn't have to pay for riding lessons. It's kind of like, hey, you take care of this horse and
Mm-hmm.
you get the ride. And it's kind of you teach yourself as you go and you hang on. That was the main thing. You get on to hang on.
Mm-hmm.
And I started taking riding lessons, I think, at a different facility after the Fletcher Street stable. So, and then it just shows every weekend, state to state, and it was fun. I will say that.
Well, that's good. That is good for sure. All right. Sorry, my computer's being weird. So what are some challenges that you face kind of in your job in the horse industry right now?
I wouldn't say there are too many now. I wouldn't say there are any. Back then, back in the day when I was growing up, yes. Now we're here. I mean, we've always been here, but we're really here now. Like
Right.
we didn't stamp this crap. So
Right.
I don't have I don't have really any challenges as far as outsiders and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What were the challenges then? Well, back then.
Oh, goodness. It was like in 95 or 90, 94, 95, the early 90s, I was like the only Black kid in the show ring, riding English and jumping. And I was so light. I think that judges didn't know that I was Black back then.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they thought I was. Like, but as I got old, and I remember not seeing other like people of my skin color back then. And then as I got older, maybe freshman year in high school, I remember going to register for a show in Bel Air, Maryland, and I heard like this group of girls like, "Oh God, the black girls here." I'm like, "Did
Where?
that just happen?" Like, and I'm like, "Oh wow." And I remember telling my uncle, like, I was upset about it because we came from like the heart of North Philly, and we had this big old gray stock trailer with spray paint on it and a beat up truck, and drove all the way to Maryland. And I was embarrassed. And he said, "Don't you be embarrassed because you got this horse that was born in North Philadelphia and in the ghetto, and you're traveling all the way out here. These people paid $50,000 and $60,000 for their horses, and you're beating them on a horse that you made in the hood." Like, I didn't have a riding arena. I would go to a high school football field that was close by, and I would ride there at nighttime, and it's like the stadium lights. Like, I really thought I was somewhere, like
Oh.
somewhere important. And like, I didn't have jump standards. Like, we would set up chairs and tires that you find on the side of the road and stuff like that. So, and it was like, hurtful that people thought that way, because that was like my first really time dealing with racism. But then after that chat with my uncle, I'm like, "You can't beat me no way." So, I just wore it as a badge of honor after that.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's cool. I mean, we've heard similar stories, from people even not the early 90s, like even now, going into circuits and they are the only one, or girls younger than us, like we've literally never been on a horse beside a black person on a horse. And I'm like, what?
Right,
Blows my mind still to
Yeah.
this day. Blows my mind. So, and that's kind of why we do this. We're like, although our stories are unique to ourselves, but we all kind of share the same feelings about things, just because we've been through it too. We've been through it for sure. So let's talk about the Philadelphia Urban Riding Academy. When did you start that?
Okay, so have you ladies heard about the movie Concrete Cowboy with Idris Elba and Method Man?
Yes.
Okay, so that took place at the Fletcher Street Stables, which I've managed for 13 or so years, and that's also where I started riding. The producers of the movie, my friend who was just killed last year, they worked really closely together with, as far as like the movie and what the movie is based on and that kind of thing. And they helped start Philadelphia Urban Riding Academy, because in Philadelphia there was once upon a time maybe 50 backyard stables where they were just for black people, or that abandoned buildings that we turned into stables. And due to gentrification, it's like maybe 3 left. So, and Fletcher Street is one of the original black backyard stables for the Black Cowboys, and one of the last standing. So Philadelphia Urban Riding Academy is to basically preserve the history of and the legacy of the urban Black Cowboy in Philadelphia, and to bring back those it's never been an actual organization before, so now it is, and to bring back what it did for people like that I grew up with and before me, generations before me, which was, horses and learning and just, now with structure. So with a host of other programs to go along with it. But it's important that, because you can always, I even remember driving through with my parents through different parts of the city of Philadelphia, and I'm like, "Oh my God, another horse, another horse." Like, so you would always see the Black Cowboys somewhere in Philadelphia. So we're trying to keep that going on so it does not stop.
That's great.
Yeah. Do you guys focus on a specific discipline at all, or you just lessons, exposure?
Pretty much hunt seat and stock seat. So uh, a lot of the kids, we're working on a new facility at the moment. So a lot of kids end up liking gymkhana and barrel racing and
Mm-hmm.
that kind of stuff, which is fun. But you have to, as far as, you have to, I feel like you should be able to ride any discipline. Like, everyone says that riding English is so hard, or a lot of people say that. I'm like, what? No, I think it's easier. But I think if you start off riding English, you can ride anything, any discipline, because the equitation and all of that stuff flows with you. So yes, hunt seat. I can only teach like beginner through advanced hunt seat and stock seat. Now dressage and reining, I would have to ship you somewhere else. I mean, I've taken a few dressage lessons, but I always feel like if you haven't competed in it or shown successfully,
Yeah, you should.
don't teach it. Right. So I stick to what I've done and keep it that way.
Yeah.
Who helps you do all of this?
What, Philadelphia Urban Riding Academy?
Yes.
Or the producers from the movie?
So are they done with the movie yet?
They're finishing up editing now, so probably you'll see something by August, late summer next year.
So the academy, even like after the movie is done, it'll just keep continuing?
Yeah.
Well, it'll just continue?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's great.
Yeah, they are like, so many different people have come through Fletcher Street. Like there was the Wall Street Journal, the Fletcher Street book, and Google, and the 76ers commercial, so many different things. I mean, which is good. They keep Fletcher Street in the media, but they come through, they do what they need to get done, and then that's it. These people, the producers from the movie, they genuinely care. Like, and they're like, we want to see what happens after the movie. We want this to keep going. And they're an amazing group of individuals. They're like family now, where I know I get on their nerves and vice versa, but they're an amazing group of people.
That's good. That is really good.
That's awesome. So will the new facility be close by, or are you just building up on what you already have?
We're working with the city to get a new location because like the other stables before Fletcher Street there's 3 different barns on Fletcher Street with 3 different owners, and there's not one specific location. It was like 5 different barns on one block. So this would actually be ours that can't be gentrified, cannot be torn down. It would be, concrete in the city. It's, that way. So we don't have to worry about losing it or those kind of things.
Right.
Great.
Well, good luck with that. I'm sure that's
Thank you
a
so
tedious process, but exciting.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, especially working with the city because they want to regulate everything.
Yes, I haven't gotten that far. I mean, they're strict, but it's not like, and I appreciate it a lot more because it's not someone handing it to me and doing all like the work for me. Like I have to like do every single thing from like, from the ground up, and it makes me appreciate it a lot more. I do have help with a friend, my partner. He's not here. I thought he was going to make it, but he keeps me straight and like focus, Erin.
And sometimes you need that with horses.
Yes. Yeah, because I'm trying to, because there's that, then there's my real job, which is horses also, and then taking care of horses after my horses afterwards. It's so much.
Mm-hmm.
So you said your real job, is that the teaching, the lessons?
No, that's with the police department.
Okay, see, I was like, I hit her up on Instagram, yada yada, and then I went to go add you on Facebook, and I was like, wait, what? She's a mounted officer? Like, well, I did not know that part.
Well, yeah, it's so I'm a civilian, but I take care of the police horses.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay.
that's
So,
cool.
and I've been there for going on 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So, yeah. So that's you that sent me the friend request today.
Yes.
Okay, I'll get it because I'm like, who is this?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
me. That was me.
Gotcha.
Well, that's pretty cool. Do they have a barn? Where do their horses stay?
Their horses are in the greater northeast part of Philly.
Okay.
So even like the actual stables that are actual stables now in Philadelphia is maybe like 8 of them that aren't for the Black Cowboys. I'm sure you guys heard of Work to Ride.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she's an amazing person also. I'll try to get her to get some of her kids to talk to you guys as well.
Yes,
Okay.
we'll talk to her too. We'll talk to everybody.
Yeah, her too. Yeah, I taught there for years. So, and did her program and taught her lesson program for years. They're great. But those buildings were actually police stables, old police stables. So, but now there's one police stable left, and it's in the far northeast. It takes me an hour to get to work every day. I dread that
I was
drive.
about to ask, how long does it take?
Oh my goodness.
So when do you find time to do the stuff with the pony?
In between work, it's like my like I feel like a robot. Like I'm just going and going and going and going. I do sleep, but I do find time to sleep because I enjoy sleep a whole lot.
Yes.
I am with you there. Well, that is pretty cool, though. That's pretty cool. Do you have Miss Buttercup? Is she part of a therapy program, or is it just kind of free?
No, well, yes and no. I did a photo shoot in this Concrete Cowgirl photo shoot in front of City Hall in the middle of Broad Street, like it's this busy street.
Mm-hmm.
And the photographer, one of his clients, was like, "Hey, do you know someone that can bring a horse to the hospital for she runs a therapy program?" And he asked me, and I'm like, "Yeah, we can do that. Like that's one thing we've always talked about, like that we wanted to do." And we just popped up with it one day, and then we just kept on going.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and she's like, she is the most skittish little pony. I was just telling someone last night, like she's so jumpy, but in the hospital, I'm looking like, who are you? She's so relaxed.
Yeah.
And just like, hi everyone. But at the barn, she's like a firecracker. I'm like,
she knows when to turn it on and when to turn it off.
Right. And she's only 4, so she's a little gem.
Yeah. So. Well, good. That means she'll be around for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Be an expert at her job.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a little mini that I've been taking different places and trying to decide if we're going to do like the pet partners therapy program or just kind of wing it.
I love doing it though. I mean,
it's
like things that we take for granted is, and I tell people all the time, is like coming into this barn and like cleaning 5 stalls every day and feeding horses. It's like, whatever. But it's amazing to like outside people who don't get to do it. And so something like this that we take for granted, this little miniature pony or horse, you go into a hospital, a lot of these people, all they see is machines and 4 walls.
Yeah.
They don't get to come home sometimes. So she really like brightens like up the room, and I think it's great. There needs to be more miniature horses and stuff doing that kind of thing, because seeing those smiles, like I just could not stop my eyes from watering. I'm like, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I had one
So,
moment that I almost cried over Christmas. This guy was blind. I took him to a senior center. And
Mhm.
it was like an active senior center. It wasn't like a nursing home. But one of the guys was blind and he was like touching them, and he's like, "Oh my God, I haven't touched a horse in so many years."
oh my God.
And he's like about to rub his butt. I'm like, "Just put your hand up here."
Go to that.
Just rub his hand. It's like
Wow.
barely keeping it together. I was just like, yeah.
Yeah,
They're like, "Oh,
that
he
would
has
do
on
it for
shoes."
you.
He's like, "Oh, I can't see them, but that's okay." I'm like, "Oh."
Wow. Yeah. See I'm like, those are like tearjerker moments for me. Like I'm just like the last time we went to the hospital, people were like getting chemo, and we were just like walking around, and I'm like, I just like had to hold it in, like, wow, and they're just like going through their treatment and not even paying attention to their treatment because of her.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just, I love doing it. I love it.
Yeah, it's definitely
I'm glad
good
that you're
community
doing it.
work. Yeah. So what do you think is like your vision for the future for the Urban Riding Academy? Do you want to like kind of make that your full-time thing, or what vision do you have for like the next 5-10 years?
It would definitely be a full-time job, because I did start Concrete Horsemanship.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people are like, hey, I like what you do with your horse. Like there's this one video I was just playing around with one of my horses, free lunging him. And he's like, they're all voice command. And again, like people who have horses, they're like so amazed. I'm like, really? Like, but that's something I've always like did with my horses, but
Mm-hmm.
I guess it is unique. And it's like decent, like as people say. So people are like, can you train my horse? Can I send my horse to you? So it's like, and then a clinician, I went to a clinic in Maryland, and his name is Sonny Gargiulio. He's a natural horsemanship clinician. And he asked me, he said, why don't you, do clinics? I'm like, excuse me? I'm still like, excuse me, I'm like, I'm still watching you guys, and like
Right.
Stacey Westfall and John Lyons. I'm like, and he says, so do I. We all do, but you need to do it. Like you have a talent, and you need to like express it. I'm like, whatever. He's just like flirting and stuff like that. So little old Italian man. And so I went into the horse expo last year, and he was there, and he saw me. He was doing a demonstration, and he stopped, and he's like, hey everybody, turn around. That's my friend Erin, and she's going to be here next year doing a clinic. She's up and coming clinician. I'm like, wait, no, I'm not. What are you doing? So,
Don't tell them that.
Right. Don't be telling
like,
me that.
so, and he's been like a huge inspiration to me, because like, again, like I can binge watch training videos all day long. Training videos and the Golden Girls, I never get tired of it. So they, Concrete Horsemanship is like one of the things that I hope to have like full force, whether it's clinics or in-house clinics. And hey, what happened here?
I don't know. That's a nice picture.
There we go. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, okay. Clinics and that kind of thing. So along with like, I'm going to have to like find other people that can teach and give riding lessons, or I'm going to have to teach someone how to, teach how I teach. And
yeah, have an assistant.
so, yes, because it's going to be impossible. Like my partner who's not here, he's going to just take care of like the daily duties of the farm and that kind of stuff.
Right.
Because like I always say, like I need a clone and I need a twin or a clone. I need a triplet. And he's like, no, I could barely handle one of you. I can't imagine. Like, I'm like, but no, we can have one doing paperwork. We can have one training horses. We can have one riding horses. We can have the other one teaching.
Exactly.
Like, and the other one could be at home sleeping and then wake up to supervise all
Me.
of the other ones.
I could be the one sleeping and then I wake
Right.
up.
Right.
You just have to find someone and duplicate yourself through them.
Right. They're duplicating stuff now.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
cloning animals and
Sheep and stuff. Yeah. Mhm.
stuff.
So, what advice would you give the aspiring equestrian, whether they're, coming up through your program or wanting to start something similar?
If you feel it in your heart, go for it. Do not let anyone tell you that you cannot. Because that was like another thing that I faced as a child, maybe 7 years old. I met like this upscale facility taking riding lessons. And sorry, someone was calling. I was at this upscale facility taking riding lessons, and they, told me that I couldn't do it. And here, 20 years later, they're sending their kids to me to take riding lessons.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Oh,
So just keep on. If you feel it in your heart, go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is sound advice for sure.
Yes.
You got any more questions, Caitlin?
I don't. We hit on everything. I just want to say good luck with all of that, and I hope you get the assistance that you need, and it's up to your standards, because I know how it is when you want to teach somebody something, but then the person isn't doing it how you want it to be taught.
Right. Yep.
But I just hope all of that works out, like everything, and I hope we can come
This
visit
is
today.
Titan.
Oh, hello.
Yes. Say hello, Titan. This way.
Hi, Titan. He's cute.
He's like, I'm not interested in your phone.
He's really not.
Time
But yes, you guys do have to come visit. And
yes,
okay.
I didn't even realize there was like this much horsemanship happening in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I didn't either.
It is. It's a lot. Go over there.
You heard I held in my Fresh Prince song.
The
last guy I didn't, and then when you said, but I was like, oh, let me hold it in.
Oh gosh, yeah, Fresh Prince.
Yes.
Hopefully we can get him to come up and to, come see what we're doing. Because everyone knows the Black Cowboys in Philadelphia. Everybody, Meek Mills, we all know who we are.
Mm-hmm.
So come support us.
Right.
And especially now that it's more mainstream.
Right. I'm sure you guys will get a lot of publicity and, attention when that movie comes out for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited. I can't. They are like, they did this short film called The Cage, and one of the producers, when I first met him, he said, "Did you see my film?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "It's called The Cage." I'm like, "Okay." He said, "I'll send it to you," and I'm like, "Okay." And I never watched it. He texted to me, and I never watched it. So one day, I'm like, "Let me just watch this film," and I'm like, "Excuse me." It's like amazing.
It's amazing.
It's like, yeah, it won Lee Daniels and all the rest of the big people over, and this is his first time like really coming out as a filmmaker. So
we're about to cry during this movie.
I know.
Yeah. I cried during the movie, and like, oh God, no. Because it was so important to my friend that was killed, and this is all he talked about was this darn movie. Like, and I'm going to California, and I got to do something for the movie. And I'm like, you and your movie, like, okay.
Yeah.
So, and they, they were really good friends. The producers were really good friends with him also. Like, it wasn't just a job to them. They came in like family. Like, I love them. Like, listen, they're amazing.
Well, good. Well, good. Well, I hope everything just goes smoothly for them, and for you guys too.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for chatting with us today. Shout out your socials if you want people to follow you on.
All right. So we have Instagram. We have one Concrete Cowgirl, Concrete Horsemanship, and we have Philadelphia Urban Riding Academy.
Mhm.
And for Facebook, we have Concrete Horsemanship and Philadelphia Urban Riding Academy.
All right.
So I'm still learning how to work this technical stuff. So
You're doing great. You're doing great.
thank you. If y'all can see how my phone is propped up on these candles.
It works. It works.
There's like 3 different candles like holding it like so it doesn't fall and stuff. I'm going to invest in a phone stand.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, is that what they're like tripods or something?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
Too.
Okay. So, and I
Whatever
definitely will talk to Leslie over at Work to Ride. And let
Yeah.
her know about you guys.
Yeah, yeah. And we'll contact her from the back end and just kind of like tag team it. And then she'll be like,
Okay.
oh, okay.
Right. And I'll talk to Kareem Rosser. He's like her star polo
Mhm.
player now.
Mhm.
So Kareem is awesome. So he'll be down for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And you have a good night.
Thank you. See you, ladies.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching YBE TV. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can stay updated with our newest content. Please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. We are on Instagram and Facebook. Our Instagram handle is @YoungBlackEquestriansTP. Remember to use hashtag YoungBlackEquestrians or hashtag YBE when making posts to social media. Tune in next week for another episode.